Testing built-in microphone. There's a built-in microphone, but it seems to be at 0 decibels. Let me try. All right, how's the built-in microphone? That appears to be doing something. We'll see if we're getting anything there. That would suck. Let me know if I'm alive now. That's annoying. Look, it was on before. Are you getting sound now? We'll see if we are working as of now. Hopefully. See what that gives us, if anything. Well, we'll just keep on going here and see what happens. Alright, so we creamed the butter and sugar. Now we need to add the eggs. So I need 3 egg yolks. Yeah. So I'm going to do this special way. Do I have any other? Oh, I have one of those. That's fine. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Even better. So I'm going to break the yolks into this, and then put the whites into a little bowl over on the side. Put it over here so you can see it. And I'm going to save those whites for later. We're going to start by just cracking the egg, and the whites come out first, so we're going to crack that, open it. There we go. Let those whites come out, and then put the yolk in there. Now, obviously, you'll get a little bit of white in the in there, but that's okay. More or less unavoidable. Crack that. Oops, that didn't want to crack clean. Make sure we're only getting. Oop. Just pass it back and forth. We get all the whites out of there. There's a little bit that's clinging. And then we're going to be able to pull it off. And the yolk goes in. Same with the last one. Then we'll clean up. There, that's much cleaner. So I'm going to save that white for some meringues I'm going to make later on. Probably not today because it is incredibly rainy out. And there's just no way that I'll have any luck with meringues on an extremely soggy, wet day that's been literally raining since I got up this morning. So we'll save those whites and come back to them later. I'm going to wrap that up right now with some elastic wrap and put it in the fridge. What else goes in the spritz? Oops. We need vanilla, so we'll go ahead and put the vanilla now. Use a teaspoon of vanilla. We'll measure that out, just in case. There we go. And the only other thing that'll go in here is flour, but I want to mix this in first. right. We want 2.5 cups of flour, which is 350 grams. So I'm just going to measure that right out. 250, I said? 350. Why check? Almost there. 320, 340. 348. 350. Okay. Sweet. Start slow. Okay. And here's what we got. A very nice classic dough, which we're going to prep right here, actually. I'm going to move some things around so we can do that. Get our cooling racks over to the side. Scale goes over here. So we will set these up. Hey, Sebastian. Yeah, I moved a little while back. Imagine that. Like a year ago, but still. Okay, so... Yes, Christmas cookies are absolutely an American thing and a British thing, I think. Let me just double check to see what we've got in terms of 350. Okay. So, Spritz are special because they get formed using one of these, which looks a little medieval, or maybe a little, pow-pow. But it's basically just a form for cookies. So I'm going to pull this off the bottom. Whoa! And you have these discs here in various shapes. So there's a Christmas tree, there's a star shape, etc. Candy cane. And so basically you cut out shapes onto cookie sheets after loading the dough into this chamber here. So basically we're going to put dough into this and then put one of those discs on there and close it up, and then we can pump dough through, so to speak. So basically, first thing we need to do is choose our disc. And I happen to really like this star shape. So we're going to start there. As I recall, it needs to go down that way. And then that will go on like that. Is that right? How do we... No, I think... Never mind. I think this goes in like that. Yeah, so we have this chamber on the end. That goes here. We load like this. Let's see. Right, let's try. 1 second. Go here. Yeah, that's how it's going. So we can't use that this extra bit right now. So we're going to now grab a spoon. Hey, Spin. And we're going to load up this basically cookie dough gun with cookie dough. And then we'll be splurting it out onto these cookie sheets. And the nice thing is you can change shapes very quickly. You're not committed to one particular shape for all of this dough. I don't remember, I think it doesn't all quite fit in here. One batch. So that's fine. It's good enough for me. So we're all loaded up there. And now we put that on there. So hopefully you can see that shape there. And now I'm just going to start putting it on the sheets. Now, if you know me and you've seen me baking before, you know that I often have these parchment paper sheets that I put on baking sheets. That is not the way to go if you're making these things. In fact, I'm just going to double check something. Oh, that's right. These don't work. So I need to switch over. I cannot use these. I have to use these. So this is a rimmed baking sheet. And importantly, it is a single piece of metal, right, all the way around. Whereas these sheets actually have space in them. There's a gap. There's a little air between the bottom and the top, which helps baking in a lot of different ways. But Spritz just do not appreciate those sorts of sheets. And it has to do with just various elements of the chemical composition behind them. So we're going to basically use this to prime the pump, get it down there, and then we're going to do this. There we go. See that? I got my little cookie there. Do another one. You should be able to go down. One thing and get a full cookie. That's actually better. Typically when you start here, you get a slightly larger one. And these will expand, so I don't want to go too nuts on my shapes. Or on my distance between cookies. Another one. See, it's pretty easy. I've got my oven at 350 Fahrenheit. You will have to do your local conversions to Celsius. I apologize. So now let me pop this off. And I'm going to go with something else. We've got here. Some of these I like more than others. Ooh, I like that one. This is that shape like that. And often the first cookie you get out of this is just not quite right. Just trying to push it back in. There we go. Oops. Yeah, get all of them there. We're going to see how this goes. Ah. Nope, I never can actually stick that back on. Back on through that here. So the issue here is that this makes this very delicate shape, as you can see, but if they don't quite come out, you lose a few petals, like right there. So I'm not loving that. I'm actually going to go and grab a little extra to fill out one of these that broke. And it won't look perfect, but it'll look better than nothing. And I'm trying doing one more over here. I feel like there's some space here for one more. Whoa, that's not good. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, let's just bake these. They go in for about 10 minutes at 350. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Starting now.
I should not do that because that's going to activate all of yours. So from now on, I'll use a timer myself. Okay. We'll let that do its thing. So now I'm going to swap that out because that didn't work out too well. So we're going to pull that back down and put the rest of this dough right here. Obviously, I can't prep another batch of cookies because I don't have any more cookie sheets like those. But I can at least do a little bit of prep here. There we go. And then we'll put that in here. I'll also look through all the forms I have. So we should be able to fill this with the rest of the dough from this batch. It's a very simple sugar cookie dough, but there's no baking powder, no baking soda, so they really don't rise. They don't puff up the way other cookies do. To get a denser cookie. Not quite as light and fluffy as your average cookie. So the thing is, like you'll see, this is all very rough in there, and it's difficult to impossible to get it really, really equal. Which means that when the first cookie comes out of this, it's not going to be exactly even all the way around. So there's that one. What else have I got? Oh, weird shapes here. Kind of interesting. Not like that. Very abstract. I might do some holiday themed. I got some snowmen, snow people. Got an angel, rather nice. Classic, simple design. Christmas tree. Oh, we'll see. Now, typically, do I have any? Ooh, I'm all out of colored sugar. That's annoying. Should have thought of that. The very traditional topping for spritz is colored sugar, at least in my house, or at least growing up. So I'll probably just sprinkle regular sugar on. There's an extra little thing. Double check. Nope, I'm pretty darn sure. All right, well, fair enough. So yeah, so what did I want to do with my, did I say? Yeah, we'll do that as our next. So I'll go ahead and prime that up. Let's get that. Squeezed up there. There. That's nice and primed. And then I can start with that, get those rinsing, soaking. I don't think I'll need this again. The spoon, but just in case. So how are you all doing? Got anything planned for the weekend? Anything fun coming up? That. I'm going to go ahead and wash out as much as I can of this stuff. It's nice being ahead of the curve in terms of dishes on these things. Probably the next thing I'll do are what are called Buckeye balls. I'll start on those at least. They're basically peanut butter balls dipped in chocolate. They're one of my favorites of the season, but you have to basically prepare the peanut butter part and then refrigerate them for an hour, at least. And once that's done, then you can finish them off. So I kind of need to do that first part so I can do the second part later. Good, I can get this done here pretty soon. Actually, I should check on my meat. I've also, you may have noticed, over to the side, I have a crock pot sitting out there. That done. And heck, I might as well go ahead and clean off that spoon. I've got some pulled pork going in there, which is simply some pork, a chopped up onion, and some barbecue sauce. And I just put the pork in there for a couple hours on high with the onions, let those cook. And then, yep. Then put it on low for several hours with the barbecue sauce. And that just really helps to bring all the flavors together. So I'm going to check on that here real quick now. While we're waiting for that first batch to come out of the oven. I'm going to close that door. So I'm going to grab a fork. That smells good. So I'm just turning the meat. Oh, it's fork tender. Okay, good. So I'm now just splitting. Let's see if I can show you this. Alexa, how much longer on the timer?
You have 3 minutes left on the 10-minute timer.
I have. Leave this out. Alrighty. So I think I can just move this in hot. No. Carefully. So this is pulled pork. And I'm just going to, so there's a big old hunk of pork, and now I'm just using a fork to pull that pork apart. I can use another fork. It's now what we call fork tender. Oh yeah, it's about dinner time. Perfect. So I'm just splitting all that apart. So it's shredded, and that way the sauce has more of a chance to get all nice and up and close and personal with that meat. If there's just one big lump of meat in there, like the skin, the surface gets infused, but not so much the rest of it. Okay. Cool. So there's our pulled pork. That's pretty perfect. I'll let that sit for a little while longer. Like I said, to marinate in those juices. And I think I'm just going to keep it here, out of the way. Okay. So then we do this, and we do this, and that goes there, and that goes there. Cool. Just cleaning off those forks, might as well, while I'm at it. And actually, we get this sugar ready to go. Just going to open that up. So when those cookies come out of there, I'm going to run them over there and then sprinkle sugar on them almost immediately. Pretty much immediately. Ooh, they need to come out. Those are burning. Those aren't quite baked yet. So grab a spatula. That's odd. Alexa, stop. Okay. There. There. And the tiny itty little cookie. Well, hopefully it won't fall apart. And I'll just put the sheet off to the side. And now, like I said, you gotta get this sugar on immediately. Just sprinkle that on. I'm going to use colored sugar, but I'm all out. It's a real shame. Touches away. I feel like I have an infinity gauntlet on. Going down there. Another minute or so. Okay. Then we can pull those out and start on the next batch of spritz. Pretty easy. I could actually get started on the dough for the Buckeye Balls. Might start doing here. I'll wait another minute or two for the rest of those cookies. Dry these off. And I can get started on those. Be nice to get those in the fridge. And then I'll probably do candy cane cookies. One of my favorites. Still no audios from you? No audio at all? Well, that sucks. I've got the audio turned on. Well. Trying all the microphones. Okay, you guys getting audio? Okay. Huh. Sorry, Sophronia. See if you can fiddle with the computer settings. I don't know what to tell you. That stinks. YouTube does that sometimes, to be fair. Alrighty. Should be good to go on guys. Oh yeah. I don't know why I said all that just now. She can't hear me. That's funny. We're just pulling these off the sheet. They turned out okay. Probably a little overbaked, but what can you do? Go, I guess, back here. Okay, then we spread our sugar. Okay, there we are. And we gotta wait for these sheets to cool down. They're real hot. So let me go ahead and third time's the charm, I hear that. Buckeye balls. Where are the Buckeye balls? Peanut blossoms, Buckeye balls. There we go. Peanut butter, vanilla, fraction of sugar. Yeah, okay. So, let me check. I need a stick of butter, room temperature, so I'm gonna again soften in the microwave. I only have one stick, so I'm not gonna do the full 25 seconds. I think I'll do 15. Maybe 20. 20 should be fine. Then we're going to what? Then we need peanut butter, which fortunately I have, along with confectioner's sugar. that's nice and soft. So we're going to basically combine peanut butter, 1.5 cups, with a stick of butter, half cup, teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 16 ounces of confectioner's sugar. I'm going to blend all that up and then shape it into little balls. So there's that. We need the peanut butter, so actually I'm going to go ahead and use this, which is a handy little measuring cup. And with that, I can just kind of get to wherever I need to without going too crazy without messing up a bunch of different measuring cups and such. And then this will be a little easier to clean all on its own. So 1.5 cups of creamy peanut butter. You want creamy peanut butter for this. As you could do crunchy. It's going to be a lot harder to form them into the balls you want, into the shapes you want. Peanut butter. Not exactly the most easy to work with thing. It's this weird semi-solid. Nope. A bit more. Make sure that's pretty even. So we're just trying to get this up to the 1.5 cup. Not quite, a little more. Enough? Yeah, there's 1.5 cups. Okay, so there's your peanut butter. I could eat peanut butter all day. And for those of you allergic, you can substitute, almond butter or whatever. All right. Guys, we're waiting on that. We're waiting on these to cool down. How we doing? Still pretty hot. So there's that. Oh, I need to use that to well. Where were we? I was preparing the peanut butter stuff. Some vanilla extract. Should I? Yeah, I'm just going to have to clean off that spoon. That's annoying. Should have thought of that. Just rinsing off that, well, not just rinsing off, washing that spoon. You kind of have to. Because I put it in my mouth, and that's not very sanitary. Sanitary. Dry that up nice. Now, this goes in here with the butter. Nothing complex. Do that here, I think. Let's see what I'm doing. I'm just going to pour this into here. Nice globs of peanut butter. Down. Fill that with some nice hot water so it'll soak a bit. And I think now, now I can clean off that spoon. Now we add a teaspoon of vanilla. I go through a lot of vanilla when baking because, oh my gosh, it is one of the greatest flavors in the world. And people do come to expect it. And then we're going to add, so our confectioner's sugar, 16 ounces. 2-pound bag, so that's plenty. So I'm going to put it on a scale, switch it to pounds and ounces, and just go until I hit 16. Pour. 12 ounces, 14, 15, almost there, almost 16, 1 pound. I'm just going to mix this together. Right? Now you definitely want to be careful here, because that confectioner sugar can just explode all over your kitchen if you're not careful. If you just turn this on high, you'll have confectioner sugar over every surface. Do this. Actually, I'm going to... Doing it in stages. Then as you start to see it coming together, you can mix. Higher. Little lump there, trying to get it off. There we go. And you just keep it going until it comes together into a very stiff dough. And it'll seem very dry and crumbly. But just keep at it. And that sound is the sound of that dough coming together. Now, you've got this very firm dough. Firm, what I mean is this. You can just, it holds together, it's not wet, right? It's almost like a clay, but then if you just press it lightly, it's very easy to make it fall apart into chunks. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So, I'm going to put this to the side for now. We'll start on those in a moment. But meanwhile, the sheets have cooled off, so we can get back to our spritz. Fun. Okay. We have our new shape in there. Let's give that a try. See what happens. Take it down. Whoop. Nothing that time. Okay. Not bad. Yep, I like that. I'm a fan of the abstract shapes for spritz. For some reason. It's probably what I had as a kid. Often how that works. Now, inevitably, you'll have a little bit of dough at the bottom of that you can't get out, by the way. That's just kind of life. Let's switch over to a different disc. I haven't tried this pattern before. Let's go with that. Yeah. Just gonna smoosh that on. And put our cap on there. weird one. That's what we're looking for. Hoping it will hold together in the base. It's a very delicate shape. Problem with those delicate shapes is they tend to fall apart. Unless everything's just perfect. Which nothing is perfect. Let's see. I overdid it on that one. Went down 2 clicks. We only done 1. Ooh, no. Alright. Well, I have a very little bit of dough left. In fact, almost none. So let's swap that out. I'm going to do just 1 or 2. Come on. Back that out a little. Put the unused dough from that one that didn't work in. I'm going to swap out with a spiral here. Let's put in the spiral. This is one of the fun things about scripts. You get to play around with the shapes. We're back in kindergarten. That's a fun shape. And I am out of space. Can I fit one here? I'm going to try. Ooh! Pop those off. Try to reassemble it. Hopefully that will work in the oven. Oh, that's it. I'm at the end of the effective use of this tool. All right, that's it. In they go for usually 10 minutes. I'm going to do 9 because those are coming out pretty almost burned last time. 9 minutes. We will then take the discs that we used and throw them in the sink, and we'll take the ones we didn't use, because we need counter space, and I'm going to put those back in that little container. Right. Just put that over here for now, and then that goes in the sink. Put that right there. And now we can go back to our Buckeye Balls. So we'll come back over here. Oh, we can't do that because we use those. That's funny. I use those. Cookie sheets. Cookie sheets to lay out the Buckeye Balls. They're the exact right shape for those to hold them. Because again, they have to be refrigerated, but all kind of on one layer. And it's really nice doing that in a rimmed baking sheet, and they don't all roll away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this stuff in the, might even put another bowl in the microwave, or in the fridge. So I can start on another batch of cookies. So let's see. Thanks, Sophronia. I do like these a lot. Candy cane cookies. That'd be a nice thing to do next. Maybe I will do that next. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So, very simple. Grab some bowl. This all goes in the bowl. And you see how it just falls right out of there. Oops, you can't see that. It all just came right out into another bowl. Now this is going to go in the fridge. Actually, no, it can't go in the fridge because if it goes in the fridge, it's going to start to harden up and won't be usable. So this is going to go over to one side. Off, out of the way. And then we're going to... Hey, Marion. Good to see you. So now we're going to go ahead and wash out that so I can start on candy cane cookies. These are basically just sugar cookies twist it into a candy cane shape. 2 ropes, one white and one red. I mean, one is just sugar cookie colored, and one's red. So that's going to be fun. And let's go ahead and do that. While we wait on the Buckeye balls. I did not think that one through. That's okay. We'll go ahead and clean a few other things. So yeah, I am thinking of going up to D.C. tomorrow, Washington, D.C., and just run around and see some of the sights up there. They don't go in that often, and it'd be nice to just get out of the house and have a little adventure. The American History Museum has a special exhibit on superheroes, so they have various superhero costumes and such on display, and I think I might see that. Sounds interesting. Superheroes do seem to be our modern myth. Much as that seems odd to me, it does seem to be true. Ow. The temperature of my hot water can be very, very hot. Exceedingly hot. So those are okay. I don't have quite everything here cleaned out, but good start. Wash that out, dry that up, and we're good to go. Good. So, we have about 4 minutes to go on the spritz. Absolutely Cornish cream. Yeah, when we're done, I'll just Dropbox them all to you. That's ideal. All right. So we need to do what? Candy cane cookies. Buckeye balls can do candy cane cookies. Okay. So, kind of as before, slightly different recipe for these. Assemble over here. We need 2 sticks of butter. Or that's how much is that? That's ½ pound of butter, basically. And again, I'm going to go ahead and soften it in the microwave. Or you could just leave it out on the counter for a little while. But I am baking a lot of cookies today. And it's not even the entire set. So you may not have been able to hear when the microphone was off. But I usually make meringues when I make these things. And I'm not going to do it today because it is raining like crazy. And whenever it's humid out, meringues do not like to set. So hopefully tomorrow it will be reasonable enough that I can take care of that. Okay. Eggs, let me grab one of those. Exactly. Wonka Vision. That's what it was called, right? Okay. So again, let's look at that. So we have our butter. We have our other butter. We have was thinking about that movie recently. That's quite the movie. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Think about how weird it was. 100 grams of sugar. How weird it was that the movie opens with shots of an actual candy factory and real candy being made. But that's not at all what Willy Wonka's factory is like. Kind of strange. Ooh. I got a big old hunk of sugar, came right out of the bag. So, gotta be careful with that, because you will suddenly have way more sugar than you thought you had. Almost. Oop. Big old hunk there. Put that back in. I am baking a lot, yes. Well, oops. Those are baked. So yeah, I've been busy. And granted, these are rather larger recipes, so this may seem like a lot of any particular thing, but I'm making a lot of cookies at once. So I believe, I believe European recipes tend to make fewer of any given thing, because a lot of our recipes came from like Pennsylvania Dutch and other areas where they were baking for a lot of people at once. You know, you're baking for get-togethers of multiple farmer families, and so you need to make 24, 36, 48 cookies at once. And that just wasn't the typical thing over in Europe as those evolved. So just put my sugar on these. You got to put sugar on those like immediately, otherwise they all the sugar doesn't stick, basically. Now making a little more space for the next batch, which should be ready in a minute or two. Yeah. Do not quote me on that. I'm not sure. Okay. That's just a theory I've heard in the past. Boy, does it ever. Yep, and that's just all fine. Yep, that's just all fine. Okay. This is why I don't like those really delicate shapes. Out of space here, so I can just crowd things a little bit. Make some space. I'll make some space, dang it. Really big one. It's nice to occasionally have a really big one. Oops. Oh, it just, oh, there we go. I stepped on it. Gosh. Yep. Okay. So, oh, sugar. I've actually been watching The Great British Bake Off, latest season recently on Netflix, Love that show. And inspiring, certainly. Not of this particularly, I do this every year, but... Well, thoughts on Ergo Proxy. Loved it. Very impressed. Okay, so those are doing their thing. So I can start on the candy cane cookies. We can do that. So this stuff is going to get mixed. A few little bits and pieces on the paddle there. Get it off. There we are. I have not watched Giant Robo. No, I've seen clips. That's about it. But yeah, I like how Ergo Proxy is very just straight. It is very much just telling its story. You know, it isn't trying to be. It isn't following cliches in terms of anime, you know, characters and that kind of stuff. It very much has its own world and style, which I always like. And it just feels like it's more mature than your average anime. Nice and mixed up, so to speak. I'm going to add an egg. And then a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'll have my egg over here. Nothing too complex here. Good. I want to make sure no shell gets in there. That would suck. I don't know, wash my hands now. A bit more egg on there than I thought. How dare you bring up anime in the cooking stream? Oh, that's fine. And then what is it? Teaspoon of vanilla? Teaspoon of vanilla. That'll go in. Teaspoon vanilla. Go. Put the egg in already. Thank you, Gin Stampede. Come together. So there's the egg and vanilla. And then that will add flour. How much flour? 350 grams of flour and a teaspoon of salt. And I'm actually just going to go right for it. I'm not going to sift them together because I'm kind of in a hurry. And I don't even worry too much about salt getting mixed into things. That just kind of happens already. If I had like baking soda or baking powder I need to incorporate, then that's a little more important to get mixed thoroughly throughout. But the salt's gonna going to find its way. Salt will find a way. You might say, oh my gosh, he's out of flour. Nope. This is such a weird thing. Flour is raw. Please cook before eating. Who eats raw flour? Okay, that's there. We've gotten all the spritz done, so I can move the sugar back, and I can move the flour back for now. Okay, so there's that, and then the teaspoon of salt. Have I had to ban someone from my streams? Yes, multiple times. And Elise writes Moto and Gundam. Awesome. Great things to get into. Totally. Women who eat sponges. Well, yeah, that's a point. People will do everything. So I'm getting my spoon nice and clean so I can use it for the salt. Obviously, you don't want a wet spoon going into your salt container because then it'll all clump up. Double check. Good. Nothing's in the oven. So there's the teaspoon of salt. And now we're going to just mix that up. And then the fun part. Again, starting slow. There we go. We want that to come together into a nice dough. Very classic sugar cookie dough. I have not had to ban the same person multiple times, fortunately. But I've had to ban people multiple times. It has been the occasion where I've had to ban people. And that has happened on multiple occasions. Okay, so you got this dough. It's pretty stiff, so I can do this with it, and if I hold on to the top of it, it doesn't automatically drop down, but it's definitely soft. You know, I can squeeze it, and it squeezes. So this is pretty perfect. What I'm going to do now is divide it into two parts, and then I'm going to color one part of it. And ideally, I might do this really, really carefully. I think I will. So one of the wonderful things about a scale is that it will tell you things. So for example, if I put some plastic wrap, I'm going to actually do a full thing. I take some plastic wrap, then I spoon out this dough. Whoa! I try to actually hit the plastic wrap. And hopefully it'll all fit on top there. I'm going to make a mountain of dough here. Very close encounters of the third kind. But yeah, you know, you get folks who come in and just start insulting you. I actually had to ban somebody from the anime club this morning, or early today, making lewd comments right out of the gate. It's like, nope, That is not what we're here for. Okay, so I have 909 grams of dough here, which means I can take off 450. Oops. What's that doing? Oh, dang. Need to reset. Sorry, that's wrong. Okay. How much do I have 670 grams of stuff. So 335. If I pull out 335, 9, 344, 328, 335. I now have two equal portions of dough. This is an extra over here that just fell off, so I'm going to do that in half. And so this is going to be the white half of the candy canes. And this is going to be the red half. I'm going to use some of this stuff, which is red food coloring. This is really fun. You get to be back in kindergarten. I'm going to do 8 drops, which might be too many. And actually, I'm going to wash my hands and then use some gloves, because this does get everywhere. Yeah. And you have folks who just troll. You know. There are those who see an anime stream and are like, oh great, I can make fun of liking anime. It's like, well, boy, that's going to change my opinion. I don't know. People have weird views of what's fun. Okay, so we got that red food coloring in there. I'm just going to mash this up. That might not be enough, it might be too much, I don't know. We're just going to do this until it's all nice and incorporated. In fact, I might just pull this out. I'm just going to work it with our hands. Work it, work it, work it. Until it's no longer marbled. You want a solid color there. It's actually a little more pink than red. Although the candy canes have a pinkish quality to them. You know, they're not necessarily a hard red. Oh yeah, plenty of those people still exist. Tons of people, those people exist. But I mean, I think it's, you know, you're absolutely right that it's passed on from, you know, anime is weird to anime is dumb, right? It's the same people who will make fun of people who read comic books or who, you know, watch sports or whatever. And, you know, there are people who dislike everything, or for everything there's somebody who dislikes that passionately. And so they're like, oh, why'd you like that? Why, that's dumb. Oh, that stuff's dumb. Okay. I'm actually fine with that color. That's a nice, it's a fairly red color. It doesn't really come across very well in these lights on that camera, but that's a pretty good color for what I'm going for. All right, gotta go back in there. We'll pull off our gloves. And then we can get started here. So basically, I will grab some cookie sheets. I will lay out some parchment on those. I've been using this parchment over the course of the day, so they have a bit of, you know, a little detritus on them from other cookies, but that's okay. I'm fine with there being a little chocolate here and there, little bits of sugar and such. So basically, what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to do this scientifically. We talked about before. So let me grab a little bit more of the plastic wrap. I'm going to take off a consistent amount of each and roll out, you know, snakes basically. Yeah, totally. Yeah, there are absolutely folks who just love making other people angry. It's trolling, basically. So I'm going to go here. I need, that's about right in terms of, I think, the size of what I want. Again, I want a snake, and then I want to be able to pick it with something else. So that is how much? That is 35 grams. All right. So here's my snake, and then I'm going to grab 35 grams of the other, roughly. It's 36, and roll that out into the snake. And yeah, you're right. The internet just lets you walk away if you make fun of somebody and they get all upset. Okay, so we have our two snakes side by side. So now we just twist them. Like this. And then we twist them around. And then we have a candy cane. Cute, huh? And so we just keep on doing that over and over. 35, that's 40. That's the nice thing about having that little way of doing things. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you get folks who are angry at any number of things. And it's not about the thing, obviously. It's about the person. It's a psychological defense mechanism. A lot of it, honestly, is just fear of missing out. You know, they don't understand the thing, and so they're afraid that it's something that is important, and so the only way they know of to respond, if they can't understand it, then they have to reject it. Sadly, it's a common psychological reaction to things. And so, any given thing is just stupid. It's just stupid, guys. It's just stupid. It's a fact. That. And as you can see, this is a bit bit time consuming. Right? You're not just throwing things out onto a sheet, but gosh, it looks good. Well, it's fear of missing out on the thing, on like anime. You know, if somebody tells you anime is cool, and then you go and you watch an episode of Attack on Titan, and it's just incomprehensible to you, right? It's just all these weird, ugly monsters, and it's really serious plot line, and it just doesn't make sense. But other people are telling you this is cool. You know, then somewhere in your mind you're like, well, it must be cool, but I am, you know, I'm not getting it. And so that triggers fight or flight. It triggers you to make some judgment. And a lot of folks react by deciding that that thing they don't understand must be, you know, it must be wrong. It must be the other, right? It's a dangerous foreign force that other folks are being duped into, right? It's a scam, basically, is what they it's the only way their mind can make sense of that. And so you respond to scams by trying to expose them, telling people how dumb they are for falling for the scam, basically. Yeah, but and granted, a lot of this happens with youngsters, for whom entertainment is um, their economy, right? If you're in junior high, for example, the way that you make friends in a lot of environments is through talking about the shows you watched. That is the medium of communication. So if everyone's talking about Naruto, and you just don't get it, that's profoundly alienating. Whoops. I think that fell on the mat. And so again, the response to this thing that other people like that makes no sense to you is that they're being duped. They're being scammed by this strange alien thing. And you got to snap them out of it. We don't have to snap them out of it because you know it's dumb. They don't. But then it quickly creates that sense of righteous fire of going, well, if they don't understand, I'm going to make them understand. I've actually been reading Freud's interpretation of dreams, which is very interesting. It's not nearly as wackadoodle as some might think. He's not saying every dream has exactly one interpretation. He's saying dreams come from somewhere that your mind is sorting through material. And there is nearly always some source of the dream, something your mind is trying to work out. And he believes it's almost always wish fulfillment, or it is always wish fulfillment, unless it's like indigestion and you're thirsty and so you dream of drinking water constantly. Obviously, there's stuff like that. And so one of the nice things about the book, he says there are lots of reasons for dreams. But there is certainly a psychological component, and so you can certainly look at a dream to figure out what's going on, and because wish fulfillment is so prominent, that gets into the psychology of what people do or don't want. When are folks responding to things? Often if somebody feels guilty about something, people dream about being found out about that guilt. And it can be a very unpleasant dream, but it is the some part of the mind, basically the conscience, wishing for a resolution to this guilt, or wishing for this guilt to go away by the cops finally coming up, showing up, and resolving the thing. So wish fulfillment can be a very strange thing. That's why in folks like this, I think, often it's this weird, perverse sense of justice. Not always, but sometimes. Yeah, Marion, that is another thing, is that once you've been around long enough, you see the patterns, you can see the matrix, and so anime becomes much less mysterious, and it becomes just, oh yeah, it's another anime series. And it's a lot easier to see it as that. It's just, it's this thing. Is it generally bad when a show makes a shift in theme and or tone? No, I don't think it's bad. I think it is jarring. It is confusing to the audience. It's risky, right? It's dangerous to promise. So I think that is a matter of promises. The first episode of a show is a promise to the viewer of what they're getting. And if you break that promise, you better have a really good reason to do so. You can certainly subvert tropes, you can certainly surprise people, but you gotta lay groundwork and be very careful with that, because it's like eating a steak and in the middle of it finding a Brussels sprout, which may be a delicious Brussels sprout, maybe the best Brussels sprout you ever had in your life, but it is not what you were promised. It's not what you thought you were going to get. Nick meant to try and make his theories more academically sound. Also, it changes theme, have a rapid tone to become complaints of anime. True. Changes theme. I would argue Lane changes themes. The end of the next to last episode basically upends all the themes of Lane. Bebop Phantom arguably does it too. But yeah, I can't think of any others that really change theme. But definitely, you're right. The tone changes. The genre can change dramatically. Man, I love being able to use this scale. Because as you can see, I'm getting these just very consistent candy canes. I'm not getting a bunch more of one than the other. It's just so much easier this way. This is the first time I've actually done this way, with that. And man, is it helpful. I'm going to have to pause here for a little bit to get some dinner, because man, I'm starving to death. And I've got this pot of pulled pork cooking right next to me, just calling to me. So I'm going to try to finish up these. How much more do I have? I have 3 more candy cane cookies. So I'm going to try to rearrange these a bit. I know these puff out quite significantly, but I think I can fit 3 more on here. So I'm going to move this one over here. Okay. So I'll do 1, 2, 3. And we'll finish these out. And then I'll keep the stream going. I'm just going to grab a little bit of dinner here. Hopefully I have some rolls. I think I do. These are also cookies that I will typically cover with, or I'll sprinkle sugar on. I just like the visual of candy canes sparkling with sugar. I don't know. There's something about that. 32, 33. There are a few Christmas cookies I do that are crowd pleasers. They take a little while to make, and I do them more because they wow people than because I really love them as delicious cookies. You know, for me, give me a ginger snap any day. But it is nice having something that really looks cool. I'm running out of space here. What we have to do, let's do that. All right, 31. Basically half of each of these, because I know I'm almost done. But part of the problem with that too is that sometimes you're making a show and your show changes underneath you. You know, suddenly you realize the themes of the show, or the direction you want to go with the show, is a little darker than you thought when you started out, or lighter in tone. You may have been going in one direction. Personally, I think the Samurai Champloo was meant to be a darker show, but it just never went there. That first episode, again, promises. It indicated a fairly dark show, but it just isn't really. And that's one of the things I like about it, is that it's not all that dark or serious. I was kind of in the mood for something a little less dark at the time. But, as a result, maybe you don't get your... Everyone wants the next Cowboy Bebop, and that's not what that was. Oops, I messed that up. That's okay. Didn't twist that around right, but it happens. And if I try to redo it, it's just going to fall apart. It'll look really weird. So I'm going to try to pull off a little bit of pink in that bit. Some people eat cookie dough uncooked. That's just bizarre. I can't imagine doing that. That's just crazy, right? Who would do that? Except me, all the time. Okay. There. Here's the rest of that dough. And Samurai Champloo is fun. And it's, it's fun. It's nothing mind-blowing. It won't challenge your beliefs about yourself. But it definitely continues and moves and tells an entertaining story. Okay. Again, I'm trying to make sure that nothing's going to puff up too much as it bakes. And maybe anything else in the way. And then I'm kind of fixing some of these shapes. Make sure we get something pretty reasonable there. Okay, these are going into the oven. Oh, absolutely. A lot of Freud's theories hold today. And the other thing about Freud, and having not read much of his work, he was inventing a lot of stuff out of whole cloth. So you have to give him a lot of, you have to cut him some slack. We're not having figured out absolutely everything on the first go round. But Freud's a not unreasonable place to start for psychological theories. Just don't stop there. All right, here these go. That. Double check. It's at 10 minutes. Yeah. And now, these go away. Almost threw away the box. Look for a roll. I haven't. Yes. Look at this. Here's what I'm about to do. And I apologize for all of you. We're going to have to watch this. I'm going to grab a roll here. I'm going to microwave it. Just to chill it out a little bit, or actually de-chill it. Defrost it. Grab a fork and a plate. I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to this. Stuff out of the way. Good. Life is good. Oh, I need to take care of this. One sec while I move these away, move these off, cool elsewhere. Because I need these racks to cool those cookies when they come out. Very important. Good. That was easy enough. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this nice, warm, defrosted homemade sesame seed bun. And I'm going to take some of this here pulled pork. I'm going to spoon that or fork that out of this bun here. See that? That's going to go right there. I'm going to take a little extra barbecue sauce. Throw that right on top. Just to sweeten the deal, so to speak. Yeah, exactly. And that is a homemade pulled pork barbecue sandwich. Got about 5 minutes to go on the candy cane cookies. And then we'll start on the Buckeye balls, which are very late, actually. Ah. Very hot. Very hot. I gotta hold on for a minute on that. But a little too... Oh! Oh, man. Oh. When you've been waiting for all day for that meal. Oh. And it hits your tongue, and it hits your mouth. Sometimes the body just says, yes! More of this, please, all the time. I want to try in the new year to get into the habit of every weekend making a big pot of something. And it could be wings, it could be stew, it could be any number of things, chili, and then just have that over the course of the week as leftovers. Because I just think it's just so great to have homemade food like that. Problem is finding things, often when you find like crock-pot recipes and other things, it's for making large amounts of food for large families. So it's making 12 servings of something. And that's a lot for a bachelor. So I have to kind of be careful and find things. It's like, oh, it's 4 servings. And I have a couple of those over the course of the week, that's fine. So we'll see how where all that goes. But you can always share, but sometimes it's like, you're coming into work and saying, would you like some homemade chicken wings? Not right now, right? So some things are kind of awkward to just give away. All right, so now we'll need to do the rest of the Buckeye balls and get those in the fridge. And then what else is on the list? Ginger snaps. We're not going to do meringues today. Iced chocolate shortbread fingers. Those were good. I don't have so many sweet chocolates. That might go for some other time. We're actually coming down to the end of the list of things I want to bake. That's funny. And the Ritz. Cookies. I need more of this stuff. It's very messy the way I make pulled pork. Tends to go everywhere. But primarily inside my belly. Alright. Buckeye balls. Done those. have no semi-sweet chocolate. So I think once I'm done with this, with the Buckeye balls, that'll be the end of the stream for tonight. Unfortunately, so we have another half hour or so to go. Yeah, this is kind of a mess. This is ridiculous. That's pretty good. Mm. It could be a little spicier. I think next time I'll add some spices. I'm using just an off-the-shelf barbecue sauce, and it's sweet. But it's not hot at all, and so just like a little bit of kick. So maybe, in fact, you could use some ginger, garlic. No, garlic's okay. I'm just gonna put in some, yeah. I'm actually just gonna mix in a little bit of ginger. And then some cayenne pepper. Just straight up. Into the remainder. Right. You gotta be careful here too, because you know that thing where you're hungry, and so you just snarf down a huge amount of food all at once and you feel terrible. Don't want to do that. I've definitely done it in the past. I want to avoid it in the future where I can. Okay, yeah, it's going everywhere. Mmm. And that is why we have timers. Because I would have totally forgotten that we had those candy cane cookies in the oven. Let's see how they're looking. Yeah. They don't look baked yet. No, they don't really brown. I'm going to give them another minute or so. Then we'll pull them out, put them over there, and sprinkle sugar on them. So I need sugar. And I also need parchment for this, because I will be putting those Buckeye balls on this. And I can use wax paper. It's a lot cheaper. I'm not going to be baking it, so I'll just need a covering. There we go. I've now got that prepped. Here's our Buckeye ball dough. This is going to be a little tedious, but that's all right. I'll do this. I'll put this here. We need some plastic wrap again. Stick it together. So, recipe says 2 teaspoons of dough per ball. But as I've been learning today, much better, exact. There's 1 teaspoon. Not like that. So very dry dough, intentionally. That is 7 grams. 6 grams. 6. So, we're going to do 13, which is roughly 12. That's a great word there. Great for me. 12, which is roughly 13. 13, which is roughly 12. Yeah, that looks about right. So there's our Buckeye ball. So we want this to be roughly 12 to 13 grams in weight. And that way I don't have to try to scoop it out unnaturally with that. I don't really have a 2-teaspoon measure, but I can just throw a bunch on there. And we're just going to do a whole bunch of them. And I know from experience that this much dough will basically fill this entire pan with these little balls. You have a problem where some shows get spoiled for you? Like a Blue example? Yeah. Sorry to hear that. I do not. I mean, I've had that happen. I will admit I've had that happen. But usually, I will go to see a performance of Hamlet, even though I know it's going to happen. I can watch an anime even though I know how it's going to end. So I want to know how they got to the end. But yeah, it can be really frustrating when there's a significant thing coming up. But then also, like there's been stuff I've seen where I'm like, I don't know. Should people know that the ending doesn't end the way they think it's going to end? Like not necessarily in a good way. Like should they know this has no ending? It just sort of vaguely just kind of stops. I don't know. That's a tough answer. That's a tough question. Tough topic. I know I would have kind of appreciated for some shows if somebody had told me, oh, by the way, like, this is really just building up to, like, there's an ending, but it doesn't, they don't save the world in the end. It's not that. But there are others where I don't want to know that. Yeah. All right. I don't know what to do about that. This is art, you know. Art is subjective, and some things are reasonable to warn people about. Not to tell people about, but warn them. But, oh, shoot! The cookies. I'm burning them. I'm burning them. Where's my... Ah. Oh, good. No, they're fine. That was scary. Just starting to brown. Perfect. Yeah, Reddit in general is a problematic, place to hang around for that stuff, because you will get folks just trolling you. I've had really good experiences, and like spoiling stuff. I've had really good experiences with Reddit in general. Like, I'm not in any way anti-Reddit in general, but there's certainly certain behaviors there that are just not great. That, and now I have to eat more of that sandwich. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. And I'll have some veggies, later. I'll zap up some mixed veggies or something. Wash your hands again. Got sauce all over it. And it's really tough to find a social media area for anime. It's not full of, 14-year-olds. Not that there's anything wrong with 14-year-olds, obviously, but they can be immature. A lot of immaturity in anime fandom. So, finding that's why I have a Discord, actually. So that the folks there on the Discord can actually talk about the stuff seriously. And so basically what's going to happen is once I have all this stuff together, I have all these balls, I will chill them in the fridge, and then basically you just melt chocolate and a little bit of shortening together, and you dip these in that mixture. And just microwave the chocolate and the shortening together in bursts, and you dip this in there. Put them back on here as you're doing that. And as you do, you get bug eyeballs. That's what you do. And then put them back in the fridge until they harden, and you're good to go. What are your pet peeves with people on the internet? I would say, that's a great question. Because, to be clear, when I say pet peeves, it's things where, I don't hate you for this, but it's just stuff that does annoy me. People who can't be serious, right? Like, jokes are one thing. We joke around a lot in the anime club. But when everything is a joke, then nothing's a joke. Or more accurately, generally speaking, you're the joke. People see you as the joke. Also, not being willing to take a show for what it is. So folks who, are disappointed that Evangelion's not a comedy, or that it's a psychological show. It's like Evangelion should have more action. It's like, well, but that's not what it's trying to do. And there's a difference between I would have preferred Evangelion with more action. I totally get that. But yeah, just approaching things basically saying, my taste is exactly what the show should be. Nope. I'm not as freaked out about spoilers, but folks who run around saying, this particular person killed Dumbledore, that's being a jerk. What other pet peeves? To me, overly condescending and unhelpful people, yeah, that's pet peeve of mine too. When you're like, what's a good isekai series? And the answer is like, none of them. Like, okay, go back in your cave. That is definitely an attitude. And obviously that's not anime. It's not unique to anime by any stretch. I don't think we can claim that. But it's definitely one of those things I'm like, yeah, come on, dude. Go be yourself. Other pet peeves. I don't know, I'm pretty calm as a rule about behavior. In terms of the stuff that will get people kicked out of this, for example, general rudeness, yelling at people, denigrating other people's tastes for no reason. See the aforementioned thing where all moe sucks. Like, all right, no, just we're gonna nip that in the bud. And obviously, stuff that's like aggressively sexual, stuff that's where you're cursing every other word when describing something. Like, I don't want to be around that kind of language. That is definitely a pet peeve. Like, I am totally fine with people I the sound or sight of a curse word does not shock me. But conversely, like, there is no good reason for that to be part of your normal language in public with strangers, right? When you're, if you're around your buds and you just normally swear up a storm, that's totally fine. Or if you establish that as your pattern. But if you walk into a chat room and are just dropping F-bombs right and left, it's like, you're clearly not paying attention to the dominant cultural norms. Ha! Nice, DS-Lite. What are your favorite kinds of Christmas cookies? Both you and everyone else. You're guilty of what? Almost with everything. Enough. Let's see. You. Yeah. Okay. This is definitely the point at which I kind of am like, do I really need to make all of these every year? Like, do I need to make 500 little Buckeye balls? It's not going to be that many, but... oh, swear. Gotcha. Yeah. I have a coworker who, if left to her own devices, would drop F-bombs every sentence. And sometimes when she's, when she's letting her guard down, that will slip into her speech. Not so much nervousness when she's just sort of comfortable around people. But it's like, again, it's appropriate in some contexts and inappropriate in others. So it's not a great thing to you don't walk into a Christmas party and start swearing up a storm with a bunch of folks you never met before. So it's just that kind of thing. Holiday wait Trinity. Persimmon cookies, nice. I don't know. What pet peeves do you guys have? That's all that I can think of in terms of stuff that I just, Let's keep it going. I guess also just fundamental disrespect. If somebody says, I like X, and somebody says, that's dumb, or you're wrong to like that. Or the calling out of others' intelligence in general gets me annoyed. It's one thing to say a decision was dumb. I make dumb decisions all the time. And it's one thing, and it's especially appropriate to do that to a decision that is clear and understandable. But when you don't have any of the context behind when that decision was made, when it's something done by somebody in another company or somebody in another organization or somebody you just don't know, like, you don't know why they made that decision. You don't know what factors are involved behind that. It may make that really smart. Yep. People love to argue. This has been true going back since time immemorial. It's one of the reasons why I did dramatic readings for so long. It's like, this goes back 20 years, the dawn of the internet. I mean, that's not the dawn of the internet per se, but the dawn of the public internet, if you will. People just... And it's not that they love to argue, it's that they feel it important to correct other people that they see as wrong. And that's where things get problematic, because generally you cannot, that doesn't happen. Almost impossible to convince somebody else that they're wrong. Out of nowhere. Unless they're absolutely and 100% open to hearing that something is, something is factually incorrect. But then the way it's phrased online usually is not like that. It's not, hey, I appreciate what you're saying, but turns out there's one little aspect of this is not exactly, what, that's not 40 grams. What? Wow, what's going on? Huh? The plastic got weighted down on one side, and so it was getting a wrong number. Yeah. People who are self-centered. Fortunately, I'm not like that. I'm never self-centered. We'll add nothing to the conversation. Yeah. You get a lot of socially awkward folks in the tabletop role-playing community because they may love the game, but that doesn't mean that they're good at interacting with other people. And obviously, you see that at conventions a lot too, where somebody has come out of their little hidey hole for the first time in a year to attend their local con. Gotta be careful that you're getting the right data, always. Yeah. And it's tough. I've certainly been in conversations where I have nothing to add because folks are just going on about some topic that I can't help you there. I just don't know anything about that. And so I certainly have those moments, but it's the folks who never add anything ever, like you say, it does get on one's nerves after a while. Oh, there's another one. Constant negativity. Somebody who just never has a positive thing to say. That's one of the ones that really gets on my nerves. I will get angry at people who are just, meh. Well, I suppose this season wasn't the absolute worst season I've ever seen. It's the best thing they could ever say. It's just there's constant negativity. I can't handle that. Again, you don't have to be Pollyanna either, and Pollyannaism can be as annoying, but nowhere near as infuriating as people who are just constantly. And I'm trying to think of an appropriate way of phrasing this that isn't going to sound bad. But yeah, just that negativity. Nope. Yep. They're out there. Every so often, one of these will just refuse to hold together. Okay. So, I am not going to sit here the entire time and force you all to watch me just make little Buckeye balls, because I think you have a good feel of what this is, what's involved here. And frankly, I'm getting kind of tired of doing it, so I'll probably take a break. I think that'll do it for our Christmas cookie stream for now. So I'll be back on Friday, another anime stream. I am planning on some fun stuff in the new year in terms of new streams, new material, Drawing Inwards coming back, Workshop Wednesdays coming back. So that'll be fun. We just got to get past the holidays first, as I'm sure you all appreciate. care of. Done. I'm going to try to go a little deeper next year into histories and projects. Actually, before we leave, I want to do more histories, more archaeology on Geek Archaeology next year. So are there any topics, any particular creators or studios or such that you would like to see me dive deep into and talk about their works, talk about their history, stuff like that? So I'm building my list now. I've got a list I'm building on Discord as well, so you can always hop by there and suggest stuff. I also want to use Discord more next in the coming year. Really get some interesting conversations going on there. Before the long weekend, yeah, me too. Now to Urasawa, great pull. You're absolutely right. I'm going to do that. I'll definitely do several of the major Studio Ghibli people. I think I did a Hayao Miyazaki retrospective some years ago, so I probably need to revisit that to see if it's massively outdated. I'm looking for what you're looking for. What do you want to know more about, basically? I can certainly do some digging and so forth, but are there any aspects of anime or the hobby that you'd like to know more about, that I can learn about and then tell you about, and make videos about? That is kind of my raison d'etre with Geek Archaeology, is to be constantly learning and then pass on that learning to all of you. It could be genres you want me to learn more about. I am working on a thing about mecha. I'm diving into mecha as a not just historically, but also kind of mythologically. The tropes and what they mean. Good animation. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one. Analyzing how animation works and when it's high quality, when it's low quality. I mean, there are many, many different axes on which you can analyze animation. Sheet count, stylization, naturalization, movement, non-movement, how the characters are positioned, all that good stuff. There's lots of different ways you can look at that. And it's one of the reasons why when we talk about good animation, it's kind of folks kind of talk across each other because they're talking about different aspects of animation. Great ideas. Anything else? I'm thinking a lot of them are like exactly 13 grams. That's weird. I could talk animation all day, and I often do. How Shonen can get away with mature stuff, and the anime had to censor them. Can you give me examples there, Matt? Because I know like Shonen Jump just got into trouble about a sexy illustration just like earlier this year for one of their shonen titles. I'm sure it happens. I'm just curious as to what what specifically you're talking about. Gekiga, yeah, we can talk about Gekiga, totally. Which is sort of the serious manga movement in Japan. And how that was kind of a response to Tezuka sort of broke his heart, sadly. He felt kind of betrayed when all that happened. Not just betrayed, but he felt like, he lost it. Okay. sometimes the bowl will come down and push against the scale until it's a little bigger. Ah, gotcha. Okay, yep, I know what you're talking about. We'll totally talk about that. It's a great topic. Because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on the nature of the show and so forth. And like where it airs and all that stuff. We get into various aspects of culture of that, actually. It's quite fascinating. So yeah, Gekiga is fascinating. Tatsumi. Yoshiyuki Tatsumi? Yoshihiro Tatsumi was one of the big founders of Gekiga. Unfortunately, we're getting a lot of his material recently. Kind of explaining the movement and where his headspace was at, and the headspace of a lot of the other creators there who wanted to make manga a serious art form. Yeah. Tezuka was kind of like, well, wasn't I doing that already? And they're like, well, not really. Like, he was serious in comparison to like stuff from the 30s, but yeah, some manga have gotten violence in the anime, kind of turn them down, and some of them don't. Like, what was it? High School of the Dead, where the manga is pretty much exactly the anime. The anime is pretty much exactly the manga. Like I went back and checked, and folks were like, "Oh my gosh, the manga is much worse." And so I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna read the original manga." And nope, it's pretty much the same. But that has, that was for particular reasons. Like you can get into that. Good job. Definitely. It is definitely not consistent. It is there. Actually, I think I am going to get through all of these. 15. Now it's hard because you get these big lumps. But actually, these little shards of dough that you're trying to smoosh together. Okay. But you get the idea. Those are Buckeye balls. Like I said before, you just melt down some chocolate with that and then put them back in the fridge. These need to go in the fridge for about an hour or more. Otherwise, they just fall apart when you try to skewer them. Wow. Why am I stuttering? That worries me. I do not need to stutter. Okay. Alright. I will finish up the rest of these. But I think that'll do it for us for tonight. So thank you all very much. I will actually end there. And hope you guys have a great week. Build up to Christmas over here in the States and in other parts of the world. And I will see you guys on Friday. So hope you guys have a great one. Thanks for stopping by. It's always good to see you.